I think it's important for family members to have an understanding of the commitment level of the alcoholic in their family and how committed they are to their sobriety. And if you followed me, again, I was married for 25 years, and my wife unfortunately passed away from alcohol use disorder and the injuries obtained from the alcohol almost 5 years ago now. And I talk about this because it's important as a family member to be cognizant of the level of commitment that your loved one has. And I remember the first time my wife went to a rehab facility, and really the motivation behind going to the rehab is that she had gotten her first DUI. And it was a very unfortunate incident. I made videos on it. I probably will again. But that was the motivator, because she felt that if she went to a rehab facility, it would look better to the court, which is probably true, but that's not really the reason why you want to go to begin with. You want to go so you can obtain sobriety, not to make it look good to the court. And when you hear things coming out of your loved ones in their vocabulary, and they're saying things like that, the motivation is what I'm getting at, is the point behind it. They have to be motivated for the right reasons, because they want to obtain sustainable sobriety. And certainly in my wife's case, and in a lot of people's cases, the reason why they go to a rehab facility is maybe to placate the situation, placate family members, make it look like they're doing something. Sometimes, I believe my wife genuinely wanted to get better, and she was always in a better place when she came home. She really enjoyed the experience of the rehab. Having food catered to you, a private chef, and being around people who are like-minded in their recovery, I think was very helpful to her. The problem is when you get home, and that's when the real work takes place, when there's nobody looking over you saying you need to do this, you need to be here and do this and this at this particular time, and the structure goes away. That's when the problems come about. Because she was supposed to go to AA meetings. In fact, it was part of her court agreement that she went to a certain amount of AA meetings over a certain period of time. Like, she was supposed to go to like 10 a week or something. And what she would do, she would just go there, maybe once, and she would get somebody to sign her name off. Well, that's completely circumnavigating the whole purpose of going to group therapy to begin with. And very unfortunately, as a result, I'd come home from work, and 3 weeks out of a rehab facility, which is fairly expensive to the insurance company, they go between $30,000 and $40,000. She was drunk on the couch again. She just went to the liquor store and bought whatever she was drinking, wine or beer at the time, and continued the same patterns of behavior that she was doing before she went to the rehab. So there was nothing really gained from it, other than a lot of hope that went down the tubes. The reason why I'm talking about this is it's important for family members to realize that if they don't take their sobriety seriously, if they do in fact are lucky enough to go to a rehab, when they get out, it has to be their focus. The real work happens when they get into their life, when they get back into their their own environment, because their own environment will dictate their success or their failure. And it's important for family members to offer support at that particular juncture. It's a crucial time, because if you can continue to go to group therapy, counseling, and focus on it, focus on growing as a person, exercising, creativity, finding, the most important thing is finding purpose. And if you feel like the alcoholic in your family is genuinely trying to find purpose or new purpose in their life, then they're heading in the right direction. But if they're falling back into the same vicious habits over and over again, they're not making the commitment. And as family members, you have to recognize the difference. Be aware of the difference. Recognize your own codependency, and if you have any enabling in the activities of what the alcoholic's doing, that those need to stop. This is when tough love needs to take precedence. This is when it's not forcing that person, but you don't need to give that person a leg up to continue in their lack of interest in their own sobriety. It has to come from them 100%. It is their responsibility. It's not your responsibility as a family member, and all you can do is create boundaries. I've said this a million times, but that's really all you can do. and you do not want to get too involved in forcing or making it too easy for the alcoholic, because ultimately it has got to come from them. If you take away anything from anything on this page, is to understand that. Don't have guilt as a family member. I don't care if it's your child. I don't care if it's your spouse. I don't care if it's a sibling or some other close friend or relative or a parent. You have to allow that person to fail upwards, and you cannot get in the way of their long-term sobriety. Only they can make that decision, and I really hope that helps. And again, the memoir, Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism, is the story of my wife's 25-year decline with alcohol use disorder, and ultimately she succumbed to the disease about 5 years ago. It's the story of her ups and downs and how it affected her, obviously our family, and the tragedy behind it. I think it's very relatable to a lot of people, good for people who are in recovery to stay in recovery, alcoholics to recognize that they have a problem, where to go and what to do, and certainly for family members of everything in between. Again, I go live Monday through Friday right around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We also have the Facebook group. It's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. Hit the link tree. It's right in the link tree. You can just join the group right there. Put your email in if you would. Also, if you're ready to work with me one-on-one, I have a complete coaching program. Set up a breakthrough call. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you and your family. Make sure the alcoholic and any other family members are there, but the alcoholic absolutely has to be at the meeting. It's not a session for finding information, or it's not that you're not there for free information. We're really going to get to work from the word go. It's a 9-week course. Courses, the call is free. Course is definitely not, but I'm looking for people who are committed to change their lives and the lives of their family. And again, thanks so much for listening.